Okay, so welcome back to Vlad TV, Tony Jurger. Before we discuss anything else, the Knicks are currently behind the Pacers 3-1, and the final game might be tomorrow. We'll see if they return. It's not the end of the world. I will always support New York wherever I go, and I will always defend New York to all of my fellow New Yorkers, whether I'm in the Midwest or the West Coast or anywhere in the South. I will always support New York City because, as I say, it's one of the greatest teams we have ever had. May the great come on, buddy. We have a squad today. Anthony Mason, Patrick Ewing, and Starks from that age. You know what I mean? You see, Mr. Clutch, I just heard Gilda say something like, well, Alexander said something like, when they lost to Minnesota, it's humbling basketball. We lost that one. But we're coming for the rest because, it's getting kind. Of crazy with the fans in New York City because a Pacers fan stabbed two New York fans. What was that, in Indiana? Or was it? Yeah, I think it was Indiana. It happened in Indiana, but we were mistreating their fans by hurling trash at them, stealing their jerseys, and tearing them off their backs. Sports are serious, man. People take their sports seriously. For example, after this interview, I want to go home quickly to attend the game. I'm a sports fan, so I know some people who think, yo, they're going crazy. However, when you see your team succeeding, imagine if New York City won a chip, man. I mean, the last time New York won a championship was in 1973, so that's a long time ago. But you know that it's longer than you've been alive. For me, I've met everyone. I'm courtside Tony on some days, and on others, I'm happy with the second and third row, but I've met you and Starks, Grant, and Bernard King back there. The last game I went to an alumni game, and everyone was there, bro. It was just so many amazing because I'm New York, forever. And I'm representing New York no matter where I go. Okay, so the Knicks versus the Pacers, and whoever wins will face either the Timberwolves or the Thunder. The Thunder is currently up 3-1. What do you think is going to happen there, I don't know, man. Their team is good. That's one thing. It's two good teams. I mess with Edwards. I'm a fan of him, but it's like when you see that, it's like he met his match with Gildress, because Gildress is like, man, you see how Drake is the man of Canada. He's like an A. It's Drake on a basketball court, bro, or Kobe, like his game is just phenomenal, bro, and I think like him getting his team. The Rolexes and stuff like that, I think he's a superstar, but he don't act like a superstar. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just Edwards is a superstar, but he's a superstar. You know what I mean? Gilchrist don't act like a superstar. He's kind of a little more humble, and it's like you buying your guys. Rolexes and stuff like that, I mean, that that was kind of ill, but he seems like he's just a humble guy, bro, that just wants to play basketball. But man, that kid right there, and he MVP this year, you can't take nothing from. Yeah, he's an MVP this year, but me personally, I'm an Anthony Edwards fan, like that's why I'm a fan of his too, but like it's like the changing of the guards. Now, you got your LeBron, you got your Stephon Currys, and these guys are Hall of Famers. Your Hardens, your Leonards, they Hall of Famers. But then you got all the new guys coming. You got Brunson, you got Shea, you got Edwards. Now you got a whole bunch of dudes, and come on, like you even got dudes coming off the bench. That's good now. So like, just a lot count. But go New York, go man. We New York, we gonna beat them, man. Okay, put that out there. We're going to beat them, man. Every time I'm in the Garden, the Knicks win. I know that. Every time Tracy Morgan. No Spike. We can't blame him. Everyone wants to point the finger at Spike Lee all the time. But Spike Lee is present in every game, win or lose, and we'll accept the victories, even if we prefer the wins. Come on, man. See, everyone from New York is going crazy outside the Garden, tearing off guys' jerseys and throwing trash cans at people. You might catch a case, but I understand because the energy of New York is winning. Everyone loves a winner, bro. That's what life is about. Okay, man. Listen, I hope they win because I also spend some time in New York. I hope New York wins, but it's looking gloomy. Teams will come back from a 3-1 score, but it's not very often, so and I'm wearing my Knicks gear. Large Bodega Original, the list is endless. Guy, please. Mitchell was good. We have a team with a strong defense, and defense wins games. You mean to tell me that we have lost 2 and 3 games and won? You mean to tell me that we can't lose 2 or 1 games and win again? Nah, Knicks could do it, man. They must want it and know what time it is. Our coaches are good. The good Brunson dad of Thibodeau is come on, bro. We have a good team, good coaches, and a good bench. I like Payne off the bench, and I like a lot of guys off the bench, so you know what I mean. I think we're going to win these next 2 games, and hopefully we'll win the championship. You have to win the next 3 games, and I think we could win that. It's just light work, and then you have to come to New York City. Even though we lose in the Garden a little bit, I believe that these are must-wins, and they want it. Let's get started. Knicks, New York City, man. Right, let me introduce myself. Everyone hates Vlad and Adam22. I don't really dislike you two, but everyone does. That's okay. That's okay, man. I'm starting to get hate too, but I don't mind it at all. Look, the haters bring a lot of views, and I used to be mad at them. So I used to block them and everything else. But then I realized that I'm blocking my own revenue because these guys are actually watching my stuff, leaving comments and adding a lot of heat to the video. So we have to say hello to everyone who shows love and shout out to everyone who hates. It's all good, man, though, because I'm learning that from you guys. Adam22 and perhaps academics, but I believe that all 3 of us make money. In addition, when you look at the hip-hop media Mount Rushmore, all 3 of us are featured. So yeah, I'm not angry at anyone, but I know that Adam 10 or 2 is in New York, so I'm shouting out to him and to everyone else. Some people are upset, and you know that many artists are supporting him. It's nice that Bobby Smurder Alba's out here and I listen to him. I don't mind at all, but some people find it funny, given everything that's happening in Los Angeles. You know why? The underscore, would you hang out with him? So I kind of it kind? It makes sense because I'm not sure if you watch Harlem Legend or not, but you should watch some of the hood dudes that have the hood aspect on them. For example, when I was watching him, he didn't seem to be feeling it because he thought that with everything that was going on with Big U and everyone else, Adam was making hot and then, a whole bunch of other too, but, I didn't have love for him, so everything was all right. The funny thing is that in one of his videos, Adam laid out the hip-hop Mount Rushmore of cuckolds, and he put, who did he put on this list?
Oh.
He put Diddy, Kanye, and himself. Oh man, as the 3 cuckoldo of hip-hop, without a doubt. I asked who the 4th one was, and the majority of the comments were stating Will Smith. Man, that is insane. That's insane. That's insane, man. I mean, when you look at Adam, he leads a crazy life. Did you know that he likes men and women, or whatever? He's a porn star, and I just know that you understand what I mean. Well, no, he's not into men, but he has allowed men to sleep with his wife, alone. And in front of him during a 3-way party. I know that was all over the place. I don't judge, but I believe that only God has the authority to make that decision. They claim that you don't believe in God. I recall that going viral for Mills. That's insane, but no, I'm agnostic. I'm not sure whether there is anything else out there, but I'm not banking on it. Where are you with God? Are you essentially an atheist? What qualifies you as an atheist? No higher power exists than you? You're not feeling, I'll say it this way, because I believe that when I interviewed the scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson, he presented it in a way that kind of resonated with me. He said that, as a scientist and astrologer, when he looks at the universe, and all the factors of the world, the universe, other planets, and so forth, and space, there doesn't seem to be an intelligent force behind anything that happens. It's all basically random. He couldn't find anything that would indicate that something is somehow guiding things in a particular way, which is cool, bro. Neil deGrasse is the smartest, dumbest person on the planet. How are we doing, Vlad? Everything is energy and frequency, so everything comes from God. So, how did evolution begin? Where did it begin? It began with single-celled organisms. Where did that begin? From bacteria? Where did that begin? From the Big Bang? Okay, what the underscore is the Big Bang? It's crazy, because I think that everything that happened to me and to everyone else in Gun was a story from God, as if God had blessed us. You understand what I mean when I say that? Arriving to shoot us and jam weapons, you understand what I mean? And it's simply God working in mysterious ways. For example, I was in a club, and mind you, I was in Monaco, where they build Monaco. The people outside give you a shout-out to the entire Monaco community. Everyone in the south of France makes. In the south of France, Makes everyone feel poor because they see Ferraris and Porsches. And you know, when I talk about my travels, people like it because I always feel so fortunate. And then, wow, I got to meet the legend Tyson Fury. He brought Leonardo DiCaprio 250, something that many people don't do. He even introduced Uncle Murder to me, so I shouted at him. I told him, "Star's my guy. Star would never do that." We were eating on the beach in the south of France, and his wife was there, along with a few other people, including Murder and me. But you know what I mean when I say that Barry shouted out to you because you did that. I shake the Carpio's hand, and it's not glazing. It's one of my favorite actors. I felt like I was in Departed because he had the hat on low-key. But I think it's crazy that God could put you in certain rooms. That's why I say that when you don't believe in God, it's crazy to me, because I would never imagine that I'd be in a room with Al Pacino, Leonardo DiCaprio, Wesley Snipes, David Chappelle, Will Smith, or some of these people. Would never imagine that a dirty underscore from 134 in God Brewer Southside Jamaica would be in a party with them, like Tyson Fury, with the owner Ray-Bans in there. I feel like I've been put in these rooms for a reason, and I respect your viewpoint. There has been a similar argument between Millie and me that went viral. Of all the possible explanations for why you're in that room, your best one is that a spirit force placed me there rather than a higher power with a higher power. The best answer is that there is a higher power and an invisible man who miraculously directs you in this direction. You don't have an invisible man. There is a higher power in this room. You're denying that you are there because of 50. C, who works incredibly hard, produces amazing projects, and is very successful. You are with him because of your loyalty to him. If you've always been there for him, you've never cheated on him, taken pictures with his enemies, or stolen money from him. Therefore, the better explanation is that a higher power did it. Okay, so you get shot 9 times and you survive, so you have to give thanks to God for that. That's what I think you could believe in what you believe in. But I just thought it was strange when I saw the Millsy thing. I love his music. Happy birthday. Jada, you know I underscore with them on that side, and I thought, damn, he got all these blessings, and he didn't believe in God. So I assumed that you believed in God, or that you might be an Islamist and believe in your higher power, or that you might be Jewish and believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not knocking any of that. I just think that you believe in yourself, man, and that if you put in the work, I'll get an outcome based on how hard you work and so forth. That some things are random and so forth or beyond your control. But I don't think there's a higher power guiding it. In the end, I believe that the more work you put in and the more relationships you build, the better your life will be, and the more positive things you do will come back. Just try reading the Bible one day, Vlad, because you're my friend and I like you. I think it's wonderful that Adam is in New York, even though he moves around. I'm happy that he's finding love in New York, and I've seen Al about with him. You stamped in Jersey, you stamped in Brooklyn, and you saw Bobby Smurd. I adore that. Mixtape DVD era, so you know that when Shay Davis came out and shouted to him, okay, so the Diddy trial is currently the greatest story in hip-hop underscore? Yes, Kid Cudi. That is insane.
Hi.
Indeed, it's insane on a whole new level. I believe Thugger called K. Cudi a snitch, but I know the feds were on his neck. When you get federally subpoenaed, you either go to jail or you can try to get your lawyer to stop it. There are some things you can do, but I know it was nerve-wracking for him because he jumped out smoking a cigarette. You have to go to 500 because when you hear the number 500 Pearl Street in New York, you know you're in trouble. However, Kid Cudi didn't have to appear at trial because he wasn't charged with anything. Instead, he could choose to be a witness if he said, I don't want to cooperate. No. The federal government can subpoena you. What are you talking about? They can subpoena you, put you on the witness stand, and make you a hostile witness, which will work against you. For example, I don't really remember, sorry. I have been subpoenaed. The feds tried to subpoena some footage, but I stopped them. They said, well, we'll put you on the stand. The feds are different from the state, and people don't understand that they have mad laws. If the feds subpoena you, you have to leave unless you have your lawyer, or there are conflicts of interest. Put me on the stand then, I say. At the end of the day, if Kai didn't want to cooperate, he would say, I don't remember, I don't want to cooperate. You put me on the stand, I'm going to come up with some underscore rather than, I don't care like. I didn't do anything like you. Go put me on the stand over some footage, whatever. You can't make someone comply. I'm not a criminal. Listen, I might be a victim. You might need to check me up. Okay, Vlad. If the feds subpoena you, it's serious underscore, so you might want to research that. Scott Lemon helped to clear things up, but when the feds subpoenaed me, I was underscore bricks. I won't lie to you though. I was like, damn, feds subpoenaing me. Start making your tummies turn underscore like that. Could talk like a gangster, but when the feds subpoena you and your stomach starts to growl, he's afraid that you're not a street underscore. He's not that kind of guy. I'm not saying that doesn't make you a nice guy. I'm just saying that he's not that kind of guy. As a result, when he was subpoenaed by the feds, he probably became afraid because you can look it up if you become confused. While victims have certain rights and protections, they are not exempt from testifying if a subpoena is issued. However, there may be situations in which you can refuse to testify, such as if you fear self-incrimination, which is not the case in his case. So I believe you are correct. I actually looked it up while we were speaking, and it stated that, yes, even if you are a victim, you can be forced to testify in federal court. Actually, you have to do it, but it's not like you can, like I was on federal probation. It's the dangerous part about Diddy. It's not a underscore state case like Thug's. He got Thug lawyer right, which is an excellent lawyer. Thug is free whatever right. This is a underscore. Federal case in New York City, you know. I'm not saying he went the wrong way, but to me, you kind of panicking because for me, where is it? Where's that lawyer from Where's Thug? What's his name? Siegel or something you're talking about. Brian Steele from Brian Steele. I think it was Atlanta, right? He's from Atlanta, right? Yeah. I think he's a Georgia lawyer, yeah. First mistake is he's not a New York lawyer for me. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Because he's a good lawyer. He's a great lawyer, what he did for Doug. But he's not a New York City lawyer. If anything, I'm going to go with a Scott Lemon. Maybe a Don Florio or somebody. Like that, somebody that's familiar with the DAs and all these people that's in this system. He probably got people on his team that's from New York. Quite sure he does well. The main lawyer in Diddy's case is Mark Agnelio Agnafilo. Oh, so he's a part of the team. He must be from New York. Well, that's the head lawyer, Brian. Steele is there to just add to the team. He was only brought in a few weeks ago. Yeah, all. I'm saying is this man, it's just when you hear 500 Pearl Street for me. It's a scary thing, you know what I mean? Like for any underscore that hears that 500 Pearl Street, it's not a good place to be in that building because the feds, usually the main lawyer is a New York lawyer, and he's just Brian. Oh, if they have stuff on you, you typically catch it, dude, and it's rude. Oh yes, a New York lawyer. When it comes to cross-examinations, Brian Steele is from Atlanta, so it's cool. No problem. And now I understand. It's a smart move, and it's more money, but I don't really pay that much, maybe $2,000 per hour or $2,500. Because they tell you that your freedom is more valuable than money. Of course, you have all the money in the world, and people look at it. Oh, the Kid Kai situation is interesting. So what happened was,